Everyone, it's Char from Char's Fascination. And today I have been needing a replacement for something. Now, you know, I have my Juvia's Place brush that I use for powders. And then I have one Jeffree Star brush, which is really good. Thank you, Jeffree and Christina, for making sure that I got one of those lovely brushes with that purple bag that people are still giving me flack about. This is a really good eye brush, and no, I don't have any makeup on. And I also have my brushes from the Curse Cosmetics Black Veil Bride collection, which are also excellent brushes. So, this one's from the Dark Divine palette. And then I do have my Black Veil Brides brushes. So, if you know, through stage 1 for getting the house back in shape, my It Cosmetics brush, the only It's Cosmetics brush that I kept, which was a foundation brush, it got destroyed. Now, the Juvia's Place brush did not get destroyed, which then means the synthetic hairs in this still has makeup on it. Anyway, that's another way to figure that out, to clean your brush. This one is better quality than the It Cosmetics because it actually made it through all that heat. So, because you know that about that brush, of course I got to bring out the iconic pink scissors for the packages. What I have here just happened to be on sale. Now, you might be able to find the same thing or a similar thing over on the TikTok shop. You can always check that out. Always check the prices there too. On YouTube. Oh, it came in a box like that. Okay. So the BS Mall brushes. This is the brushes in this box. Excuse me. So I just finished dinner. Sometimes leftovers are good. It was leftover penne. I don't care. I'm keeping this. If the box rips, it rips. Whatever. I was like, wait, I don't remember ordering the package in something square. The square is just the box. Okay. Let's see if I take the lid to it out. Holy crap. Or the other part to it out of the box. To open that from the other end, I guess. That's fine. That's funny, though. So it comes in this case. Yeah. Okay. So it comes in this case. And it's got their logo on the top, which is fine. This is also good for travel. If you travel, and also take your brush bag as well. But if you have extras that you might need to take, this is good for that. And it'll keep it all together. And I think there might be enough room in here for other brushes. It's nice on the inside. It's plastic. It don't smell weird, which I'm grateful that it doesn't, because it has that little hole in the top to let that vent. And then here's the brushes. It's slightly flexible, but not too flexible, which is really good for your brushes. And, well, we'll start with this brush. Now wash it. Oh, wow. Look how thin that is. You can see it with my tan. But that's a good brush. Oh, it's got the spoolie. Yes. Now, I have an Anastasia Beverly Hills brush. Now, this is what I like to do. If you're going to, my face is clean. That's what you want to do. And then you would take a brow pomade or whatever you're using, take it in this direction. If you do it in that direction, that's for this side, honestly. But if you do that for that side, just be careful. I usually take it upside down and brush it slightly up. And that's a good brush. That's soft. So with these, I don't normally put them in a container like that because then you have to pick which side is going up. And I would say the spoolie. Now, why do I put my spoolies like that? Because you also might need to, if you're not using it for your eyebrow, you can use that to separate your lashes. Because remember, when we're putting on mascara, which I need to get some more, sometimes, you know, you need a little extra help separating your lashes. So, then we have this brush, which is another thin brush. That's so cool. You know what this one reminds me of? A nail art brush. But what these are basically used for, and the Dark Divine palette, this would also be good for that water activated eyeliner. So that you go really good there, or paint that design on. It's gonna go in the thing. That's really good. Then there's this one, another good brush. This one is good for, don't mind the dog, she's playing. This is good for bringing the eyeshadow here. You can use it for smudging underneath. She's always playing with the cat. It's funny. And then another small brush, also good for under the eye. You take it to the eyebrow. This would also be good for applying lip color. That would be good for that. I'm going for the smaller brushes first, right? Now, some of these you could also use for applying a texture of lip color, right? So this is something that I would probably, if I did it that way, and I do have the Gerard Cosmetics lippy that I would probably do that with. Or again, you could use it here. You could use it at the brow, but you already got that one for the brow, right? And then we have this brush. This is a really good eyeshadow brush. This is a good, like, packing brush. Super soft. And then there's this one. I do like these. I like these brushes. And no, I'm not giving any of my brushes to anyone. I needed some extras anyway. So, in case some people want to know, these were $10 for all these brushes from, obviously, another good fluffy brush for your eyeshadow. And okay, so I believe this is the last of the smaller, yep, this is the last of those smaller brushes. This is a good blending brush so that when you're doing your makeup, you can blend really good with that. So I put it over there for a minute. I had to plug in the phone. So that when you're blending your eye makeup, this is nice and soft for that. Remember, you don't want that harsh, dense brush that'll rub on the eye too much and cause you to have crinkly wrinkles. Like I said, I don't even have eyeshadow on today. So, a good powder application brush would be something like this. Put that there for your powders. You know, applying your powders. This would be good. Great for that. Yes, I did touch my skin with it because my skin is clean and these are mine. Another good powder brush. Some people might use this for foundation. I would not. Like I said, these brushes are very soft. The brand, I believe, I showed that to you wrong. Sorry about that. This is another good powder brush for applying. I suppose if you wanted, you could probably use that as that foundation brush, but apply your powder with that. Now you're down to, or I'm down to, 3 more brushes. Now this, I would say would be good as a foundation brush. I will wash these. This, because if you notice a lot lately, I will stipple my foundation on. I just wanted to see how well the brush would be with that. But I'm not changing. I'm in my pajamas and I don't really care. It's Saturday. This one here is a good angle brush. You want to know what that's really good for? Working that powder or your foundation right up under the eye or in those places. It's the lighting in here, by the way. My eye is not irritated. It wasn't earlier. So, nope. It's just the lighting. No, on camera it makes it look irritated, but it's not. But anyway, like I said, you can just go up under like that with this one. Then you have this brush. Like I said, I would use that for, you know, stippling on that foundation, which I find that technique works well in a lot of instances. And then there's this one. So, could you stipple with that one? Yeah, you can. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 brushes plus the case for $10 and some change, I think is an excellent deal. Eventually, I'll see how long these brushes last, but let me get something cleaned. Okay, now I've got some clean big brushes. You could probably tell I've cleaned them because they're more like a little more fanned out. So the first thing I'm going to do is use the Wet n Wild, and then I'm going to blend it with the Curse Cosmetics Undead, because if you've seen, I have used, I just need to use it up. And as you can see, I still have a slight tan in my face. So I don't really use the concealer much until like spring, summer, especially summer. So I'm gonna make sure you get more of this lighter tone than the darker tone, because the darker tone, and this is why I'm mixing this, that darker tone, unfortunately for me, has yellow in it, and I don't have a yellow undertone. Now, does Curse Cosmetics have those Undead foundations in stock? Only some of them. She's waiting for the rest of them to be released. And I only need 1 pump of that, okay? You only need 1 pump. We're going to take this brush here, and we're going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and just stipple that in. And you see how that's blending? I'm just going to go ahead and get over the eyelid with that, so that you guys get a good idea of the coverage that these brushes help with. And we'll go ahead and pick up the rest and put that in there. So these so far, I think, are pretty good brushes. Go ahead and work that in on the forehead. If you want on the forehead, you could just go ahead and go like that, because you got that other foundation on there, and you need to blend that up really good. Magic of makeup. So I'm going to say for these brushes, considering where they're from, also depends on the company for quality. And I did read the reviews on this. There were some of those comments where like, oh, the brush didn't work right for me. Did you know how to put your makeup on in the first place? That's where a lot of reviews like get kind of ugly, because the people don't know how to actually work with the product. And that would be pretty sad with makeup, because there's so many tutorials, right? Makeup tutorials that that brush worked good. And then, you know, my gig, like to have a makeup wipe available. I took one out of the package to keep it ready. So of course foundation will be on there, because foundation is foundation. And then if you wanted to, you just go over with that angled brush and make sure that you got that worked in under the eye. So the other thing I will do for that, sorry, my sinuses are whistling. Yeah, you guys know I do use my powders. And let me see what I can do with this one. So you know I use the Gerard under the eye. And you know I use the Cursed Cosmetics as my other. Pop that under your eye like that. Now, as you're getting older, you don't want to like do the bake under your eye. Just go ahead and press that under. Right under the eye. And with this brush, as you can tell, you're able to just work that under. Also, you can just work it like that. That's one of my little tricks with this. That flawless finish, or just about flawless, with the powder. And again, I washed these, so does it look like a moment for you? It was a little longer than that for me. So yeah, okay, I like this. It's pretty good. That in right there, that I like that. Wow, this is pretty good. It's just as good as that big brush, but sometimes you just want to get into those other places with that. That worked pretty darn good. Anyway, Amazon brushes. So far, there haven't been any stray hairs from the brush. And you know how that goes when there's like, you get those brushes that you might not know if a hair is going to come off or not. Now, I've actually had some cheap brushes that the hairs did come out of. These do not do that. This definitely does not do that. Cursed Cosmetics brushes, they don't lose their hairs. So, is this in the approval section of makeup brushes? Absolutely. So if you can find it on the TikTok shop, go over there and see the price. I don't know the price, but it would be nice to know the price. And let's see how this closes up before I end this video. Is that helpful? How does this close up? How well does that close? I'm going to say probably put the bigger brushes in the middle. It was a little bit of a struggle, but not too much. I do like this. I can just place it aside somewhere or up there with my other makeup. And yeah, I like how that did that. Oh my gosh, that's pretty good. So I'm going to close up the box. Try to be with reality here, right? So again, this is the brand. I think the fact that they have the chart on the back to tell you which brushes are quite frankly for what, and the smaller brush that goes with it, I think that's awesome that they have that chart on the box. If you know a beginner for makeup, you might want to take the chart and tack it on their wall. That way they remember. And yeah, I really like how it applied the foundation. It's not oily, it's not greasy, it's not streaky. That's another thing I look for. The other thing I look for is for people to stay happy, stay healthy, stay positive, and as always, stay blessed. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.